Hello, my name is Roger Schwelt, and I'm a pulmonary and critical care specialist in Southern California, where I've treated hundreds of COVID-19 patients. Now, what is stress? Or more specifically, the opposite of stress, what is peace, and how can it help you with COVID-19? Let me explain a little bit about stress. You know, in the right amount, stress can actually be very motivating, but too much can be crippling. Let me tell you about one of the most stressful parts of my life was when I was in medical school and exam weeks were coming up. And with the amount of testing you do, you always worry about how things are going to be. You're stressed. You know, this could be career changing if you don't do well on an examination. Well, a number of researchers took just those type of medical students who were in exam week, and they tested them years ago for things like natural killer cells and their ability to mount an immune response or make antibodies. And what they found was that when they were under a lot of stress, these medical students had very low natural killer cells. And the antibody production in their body was almost undetectable. When they took cells out of their body to see whether or not they would react like they should in a test tube, they reacted very, very weakly. So these findings really shocked the research community. And so 300 studies later, and what we now know today is that stress, whether it's just for a few days or for a few months or even for a few years, can be detrimental and bring down your immune system. And it seems as though this is even more pronounced in people who are sick and who are elderly. Further analysis has actually given us some more information about stress as well. In first-year students off at college who needed vaccination, they looked at what their antibody response was, and they found that there was poor antibody responses in students who were either not in a social network that was very large or under a lot of stress and isolation. So how do you avoid stress? Well, you can't really avoid stress, but you can change how you deal with it. For instance, you can take deep breaths every 4 to 6 seconds, or you could reach up to the sky as high as you can and then back down again to the ground, or you could do passive relaxation by tensing certain muscle groups for 5 to 10 seconds and then allowing it to relax. These are practical things that you can do to help with stress. If you are a part of a belief system, and let's say you are with other people that are part of that belief system, let's say church, then you can actually use that belief system to help, the science has shown. And you can once again obtain the peace that passeth all understanding. Now, during a pandemic experience, it's very difficult to kind of get those networks that we need to help us deal with that kind of stress. But technology can be a help, and it's not a barrier that you can't overcome. So make it a point every day to get together and network with your acquaintances, as you'll both get a benefit out of this. Here we see practical and simple methods that we can use along with advanced medical technology to help enhance our God-given immune system. We are fearfully and wonderfully made. God has given us these ideas to protect us from harm, learn to stay connected, and keep a faith system, and teach it to others so that we can hopefully prevent disease and hospitalization. It just might help you or someone you love from COVID-19.